Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode. Shay, how you doing, bro? How's your week been?
Yeah, week has been good, man. How your side?
Mm, bro, like I love what we do, and to be honest, it's what that keeps me going. But if I wasn't doing this, honestly, I'll be taking a break from sports at this point in time, other than
Why?
football. I mean, we'll talk about it later on this in the show, but obviously my teams are not performing, and it's
Okay,
just
stop
not a great
whining.
feeling. It's not
It's
a great
it's
feeling, bro.
it's too early in the week to be whining. I beg.
I mean, that's why I
But
said I'll take a break because it's like a mental health break. Sometimes you just need that back off, but you have to persevere. We have to stay connected, bring you guys the insights, the news. So what we got to start this week, bro?
yeah, starting in the AFC. So Thursday night football. Bengals visited the Baltimore Ravens, and yeah, have the two quarterbacks in the graphic because they played pretty well, both of them individually. Um, Burrow completed 35 or 56 for 428 yards and four touchdowns. Lamar 25 of 33, 290 yards for four touchdowns as well. Shout out Jamar Chase. He had 11 passes. He caught 11 passes for 264 yards and three touchdowns. He's currently leading the league in yards per reception and total receiving yards. Yeah, as you can see, it was
And
just 1 point.
touchdowns,
It
and
was
touchdowns,
sorry.
and touchdowns too.
Oh,
What
I
three?
I missed that. Yeah. Um. Yes, it was very close in the end. 1 point between the two teams. Um. I know a lot to be said about the 2 point conversion try that was missed, and um, I felt they should have gone for two because if you saw the way the game went, like I think at some point the Ravens were losing what 21-7, right? And
First off,
they scored on four straight possessions. Like they scored like the whole game got flipped on his head when um Joe Burrow was picked off by I think it was Humphreys, right? Intercepted the Burrow pass and like from that possession, like every time the Ravens got the ball, he scored a touchdown. Like I didn't think it was going to be wise for the coach to risk giving Lamar the ball in overtime because he was most likely going to score again, right? So they went for the 2 points and he didn't get it. Fine. People are saying, oh, there was a holding call. I'm sorry, like a face mask call that was missed. Like, but I felt the the offensive lineman like sort of pulled down the Ravens tackle like as he was going down, like the momentum like made him like hit Burrow in the face, right? But I didn't think it prevented him from throwing the ball. So I can understand why the refs didn't give that call, right? And I mean, Jamar Chase has been your guy the whole game. I wonder why you're not throwing him the ball and make him like fight for it. Like it made sense why he threw the ball to the big tight end, like that was being covered by a smaller safety. Like that decision made sense, but I mean, winning and losing, it really comes down to like very small margins, right? At the end of the day, so yeah, both teams tried. Ravens, their pass defense, dead last in the league. They've allowed what's more than 3,100 yards passing this season. Like of the 32 teams in the NFL, they are last. That's really bad. Like, yes, I know I picked them to go to the Super Bowl from the AFC. I'm still standing by that, but
mm,
yeah, I don't think they will win it because the team that I'm picking to go from the NFC, which are the Lions, like I still think those guys are winning the Super Bowl. For now, for now. It's fluid. It's fluid. To steal
well,
from Stephanie is
to,
fluid,
to to be
right?
honest, I mean, if you're so convicted, put a tenner on that and see how much you can make on those odds. But I feel like this.
I don't gamble personally, but please,
Okay.
I'm happy to give odds to people that that dabble in gambling. So yeah,
I definitely feel like this season is going to be one of the most competitive seasons coming down to the end because there are a lot of teams that right now like they're obviously looking good. Um,
yeah,
I won't even say going into the playoffs, but edging closer to the end of the season. The playoff is that merry-go-round where upsets and things just happen so crazily. So there's that second factor that we're not putting into account. But I think as things go on, we'll get a clear sense about who are the top contenders. Like you said, the Ravens are up there um, based on how they're resilient and their ability to come back on tough situations.
yeah,
Obviously, the Chiefs still dominant, undefeated. We'll talk more about them.
yeah, for sure.
On the NFC side of things, we still have the Lions, like you said, clear front runners. You have the Eagles picking up pace. You have the Washington, I was about to say
Commanders.
Redskins, Commanders still performing really well. So there are lots of teams to yet showcase. And sorry, even in this conference, the Steelers they're playing pretty well in
Yeah,
the
same division as Ravens,
division. So
Bengals. Yeah,
um, yeah, it's good. Let's go on to the highlights and I mean the other results and see how everybody else performed because I think
yeah. Okay. Sunday, there was a game in Germany. Giants lost 17-20 to Carolina Panthers. The Patriots beat the Bears 19-3. Yeah, I saw part of this game and yeah, I don't want to go too hard on Caleb Williams, but I I still have issues with him, like always getting flushed out of the pocket, like all those superhero plays that you do in college. Brother, this is the NFL. Like the O line isn't helping, I get, but they have a lot of work to do if they are going to
all
improve
all
this
I'll just say is that
like they have a lot
if
of
he's
work to
trying to improve, you should watch Kyler Murray. That's all.
do. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm sure he spends a lot of time watching film. I'm sure he does. Give him the
I mean,
benefit of the doubt.
it's not even just about the film. It's more about his whole journey in the NFL. Like similar flashy player. I mean, Kyler Murray had a better rookie season than Caleb Williams is going to have. But the core essence is that he always tried to be a superhero, Superman, carry the team on his back. And now that he plays within the system and he plays to the strengths of everybody and is trying to sort of live to fight another play, he's doing a lot better in terms of his pass completion, his care with the ball, and his ability to win games. And that is the fundamental of the NFL. Like you said, it's not I mean, you get to that level, your Mahomes, your Lamar Jackson, they didn't become this on day one. They grew to
Yeah.
that level. And that's I guess, the process for some of these rookies. They need to just play within the system. And I think that's why Jaden Daniels, although he lost to the Steelers 28-7, he's someone that has been successful because he's a system quarterback. Like he plays
Yeah.
within the system and they built the system. He's sort of mastered the system and they built it around him. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of interesting. They were talking about how he use this VR, AR, AI, artificial intelligence, like tool for him to sort of simulate games. And that's really helped him to be able to read the defense and make adjustments on the go rather than having to sort of, that's the play. You just go your one read, your two read, your three read. You're more in tune with what the system is trying to do. So again, high level watch Kyler Murray.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Bills beat the Colts 30-20. Yeah. Pray for the Colts, guys. If you support the Indianapolis Colts, um, we hope they can manage to turn it around. Um, the Broncos Chiefs game, yeah, that game. Chiefs ended up winning 16-14. Um,
Blocked
it
it
came
last
down.
minute.
It came down to a blocked field goal with 3 or 4 seconds left on the clock. Like, I mean, shout out to Chiefs defensive unit. Like those guys are just they're on a different level. Like they keep the Chiefs in the game no matter how badly the offense is playing. And yes, the offense has Patrick Mahomes best in the game, right? But they have their limitations. And yesterday they weren't able to get a lot of those explosive plays. So, just managing managing the clock, eating up a lot of time on your offensive possessions. That's how the Chiefs like played the game yesterday. And just, normal Patrick Mahomes like protecting the ball as best as he can. And yes, he's one of the best at it. But that field goal that the Broncos missed, honestly, I've watched that thing. I'm not even exaggerating, like 20 times. And I keep seeing the same thing. I don't know his name, but number 54 that was on the left side of the like field goal coverage or whatever it's called, like the people who block, right, for the kicker. That guy was not set. That guy was like it was a disaster waiting to happen. Like I I mean, you can only beat what is in front of you, and opportunity, right, meets preparation, or how do they say it, right? The Chiefs were like they definitely deserve to get that block because previously they had like they had they had spotted that guy as the weak point of the field goal coverage or whatever it's called, and on that last field goal, like they exploited it perfectly. And yes,
Yeah, it was even two guys that
kudos,
broke through,
kudos to
so
them. Kudos to them.
it
Like
definitely was
kudos to
well
them.
organized from their special teams.
Yes, yes. Like
Chiefs continue to live to fight another day. 8-0, right?
yes, 9-0,
9
nine
and
and
0.
0, 9-0. And they don't seem like they will lose. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Too early to
The
see.
Saints finally won. Um,
Yes. That
I
drought
think
is over. After 7 straight losses.
they also had a walk-off field goal, or was it?
No, that was
No,
that
it
was
was
the that was the Lions game.
the Falcons are the ones that lost. Like
The
they
Falcons
missed
missed. Yeah.
missed the field
Young
goal.
Cool that we praised how many weeks ago for his field goal kicking prowess. Missed a couple in this
But
game.
there was a lot of positive energy on the sideline, so it seems like the head coach change has definitely um, been positive.
Yeah, I think he's their special teams guy. He's their special teams coordinator.
Yeah.
That is now acting as their head coach. Yeah, the 49ers beat the Bucks 23-20, and yeah, it was good to see Christian McCaffrey back on the field and doing his thing. They beat Rusty initially, but yeah, got into his groove. It was nice to see Ricky Peso scoring a touchdown as well. After getting shot before the season, and yeah, we already spoke about the Steelers Commanders game a bit, but yeah, for me, I was really happy for Russell Wilson and just generally how he played, and yeah, that the Steelers were able to get the win, and I'm sure you were happy to your division rivals losing the game. Always a
I
good
mean,
thing for the Eagles.
I like Jaden Daniels, but again, like you said, it was a good display from him. Great veteran presence where he was able to draw their defense offside for them to sort of bury the game. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
been a
like
good.
bro, that hard count, like on it, like bro, we're watching the game yesterday, and like I was just telling Tosin that like just listen, like how do they take like how do they even know when it's time to snap the ball? Like I'm sure they practice this thing like a million times every week, like for them to just be able to execute like that and just see it work out. It was nice to see. Well, yeah, one of the deadest games this week. Vikings beat the Jaguars 12-7. I don't
Four
even know what to say.
interceptions, no
Like,
touchdown.
bro, the
But the
Jaguars
Vikings
scored
live.
the touchdown. Mark Jones started this week. And that was it. Nothing else. Literally, nothing else from the Jags.
Chargers steamed through the Titans 27-17. Also pretty decent game, not too crazy. Herbert doing his thing. Titans are definitely rebuild mode, so they need to fight another day. The Eagles dominated the Cowboys 34-6 at Dallas.
I don't know what you were scared of. I
No, it
don't
was
know
not
what you were.
scared. I
I
say
don't know
it
what
was
you
like
were worried about.
it was we're obviously playing their backup quarterback and everything. So Dak Prescott is about to or is potentially going to have season-ending surgery for his hamstring.
Yeah.
So they had their backup quarterback, and I'm forgetting his name, Cook or anyhow. He just wasn't it. Two field goals is all they were able to manage. The Eagles again with a nice clean victory. I think Hurts had one pick, and from then on, he sort of managed the game a lot better. And I think by the end of the
Was it
third
even a pick?
quarter,
I think it was a strip fumble.
no, he had a pick, interception in the
We had
end zone.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That
But I
was
know there was this one
Saquon that
where
had
like Micah stripped the ball. Like Micah,
Saquon. Yeah,
are you sure?
he
No,
stripped once and he stripped
Micah
both of
stripped Hurts
them,
now. Yeah.
Hurts and Saquon, because Saquon also had like a situation where he had injury.
Yo,
So
if that guy joins the Eagles, by the way, bro, Super Bowl, Super
yeah,
Bowl,
but I don't know if the Eagles can pay him. We have some
Super
good
Bowl,
defensive linemen that we also need to pay.
bro. They're not Micah. I'm sorry, they're
So
not
yeah, I
Micah
mean, Carter
Parsons.
is definitely something that's. I mean, I won't call him the best D lineman, but he's one of the top guys up there.
Bro, coming off the edge, man. Like very few guys. Very
Overall
few
athleticism is unmatched at
bro.
all. Like I said, the Cardinals dominated the Jets. Watching what Kyler Murray has done again, consistent improvement. I think one of the things that I like to highlight about players is their pass completion, because your pass completion stats just shows how much you're leading into the process of how the team is playing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, he just really had 20 of 24 for 266 yards and a touchdown. That completion rate is elite. Like, he obviously has room to do more in terms of big playability, and Marvin Harris has really turned up in terms of consistency. So they're building chemistry, they're building rapport, and it's just staying within the framework of the offense.
Yeah.
And then the final game was the Lions and the Texans. Another very strange performance from Golf. I think he had five interceptions.
Five, bro. And
Five
in the last five
interceptions.
games, he had zero. Like, but yesterday,
Yeah, I think this whole season has had four,
threw five interceptions. Like,
but they still managed to get the victory again. That was the walk-off field goal, and like you
bro,
said, their defense is really elite.
all
To keep
defense,
CJ
man.
Stroud um, under lock was definitely his team just saying like, we got you, bro. Like, even though you're stinking up the the field right now, like, we are not
I
going to
mean,
lose.
like, also having like that's what's his name, like Aiden Hutchinson, like their best pass rusher, like out for the season, like, and their defense is still balling the way they're balling,
Yeah, it's
bruh,
depth in squad, bro.
bruh. Like they don't just seem like they will lose. And yeah, I mean, I was happy for the kicker because what's his name, Jake Bates. He was the best kicker in this last UFL season. Yeah, it was nice to see him make the step up to the NFL and yeah, knocking down 58 yards, 52 yards. Like, yeah, it was nice to see. Anyway, I think that's a wrap for this past week in the NFL.
Get to some college football.
Yeah.
We
Whew.
definitely had some shocking results. Obviously, starting with your Miami losing 23-28 to Georgia Tech. We've
Yes,
been
that
talking
was a
about
shock.
how
That was
Miami has been struggling to they've been struggling to blow out teams that obviously they should be dominating, and I think this was a clear indication of that those bad performances have caught up with them. And again, they're similar to the Ravens. Their pass offense, I mean, their pass defense is really, really bad. And that was kind of exploited here. But I think Georgia Tech was
yeah.
mainly ground and pound type of scenario to control the time of possession. And that was where they were able to limit Cam Ward's ability to,
Yes, like
flip
they
the
really
script.
did their best to keep the Miami offense off the field as long as they could, and he just really couldn't get any like rhythm going for him. That's Cam Ward, right? So
And then we also have Georgia that was upset by Ole Miss, 10
yeah,
to 28.
that was not a shock. Remember
Yeah,
last week
that
I said we'll get into this Kassenbeck guy another day. Like we don't really have time to get into him, but I mean, like it's just it's someone that his name keeps coming up, right? With red flag beside it. Like what 20 of 31 for 186 yards of passing. Like, come on. Rushing 8 carries, -20.
he
Negative
was trying to
20
do a lot of
rushing. Like
superhero plays, bro.
I don't like bro, it wasn't nice to watch, honestly. And I don't know. I don't know.
But again, this is what I wanted. This brings Georgia down a little bit much. My Bama, who we'll talk about, can rise a little bit higher. Ole Miss is also going to rise because beating a top three. I
Yeah,
think this was the second time they've beat a top three um, ranked team in their history. So it was definitely a big win. Definitely stormed the field and some crazy, crazy parties in Dallas. Um, we have your Colorado Buffs dominated Texas Tech
yeah.
41-27.
I mean, it did start out. It didn't start out like the way it finished because I think it started what Colorado was down by I think 13 initially, and I don't know. They just managed to you know get offense going and defense started making stops. Shout out to what's his name? I don't know his first name, but his last name is Okunlola. Like really, really, really solid defensive tackle. And there's this McNeil guy, that guy too. Those two guys that really made life difficult for the Texas Tech guy to, get any sort of offense going. And yeah, Shador touchdown, Hunter touchdown, Shiloh Sanders touchdown. What more could I ask for? And yeah, it was nice to see what's their name. Iowa State lost to Kansas over the weekend as well. They played at the same time Colorado was playing. So with the loss for Iowa State and the win for Colorado, like Colorado has gone up to second in the Big 12 now, and yeah, BYU almost lost to Utah. That would have been a very good result for Colorado. But yeah, BYU beat Utah 22-21. But with the way the Buffs are positioned, if they win out their remaining games, they will make it to the Big 12 championship game. And if they win that, qualify for the college football playoffs. And yes, it's a big deal because the Colorado Buffaloes were actually predicted to finish 11th in the Big 12 conference. And yeah, yeah, basically doing all this against all odds. So yeah, shout out to
Long
Cody Prime.
time, long time. Oregon continues to dominate, and Ohio State. Those guys are definitely one and two. I
Yeah,
think they're going to win out for the rest of the season. Boise State continues to dominate again,
bro.
28-21.
Ashton Jinty, bro. Madden numbers, like Madden numbers, like those numbers are not real. Like what this guy is dropping this season, man. Another 2 touchdowns, another how many 200 plus yards. Like what's going on? Like I think I have it on my screen here. Yep, Ashton Jinty, 209 yards, 34 carries, 3 touchdowns. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Definitely. I mean, I just hope he's not running out his legs before he gets to the NFL where he can actually get paid and
Bro, he's going.
showcase
He's.
himself.
I mean,
He will go to the
he's
NFL.
actually draft, right? He's entering draft this year.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you, like, bro, like, there's a long history of all these elite running backs coming from college
Oh
not being
no, no,
able to
I get that.
transition.
I get that for sure. I
Like I
get that.
said, your King Henry is like the last one. Eddie Lacy, not Lacy, sorry. I mean, Lacy was also pretty decent. The guy for Pittsburgh, their running back, Najee Harris.
Najee Harris.
Those those are like one of the only few like that they were dominant. Your Chris McCaffrey, that they were dominant in college and were able to sort of transition that into the NFL. A lot of them come in hot and sorry, even Saquon Barkley, sorry, he was also hot in college and continued. So it's not very like the list of Heisman Trophy running backs is longer of them not performing as good as they did in college than performing. So yeah, just keep your legs strong, bro. Is all I can say. My Bama boys did their thing, dominated, went to Baton Rouge, and put some whooping on LSU. I mean, I actually really like both of these teams, and it's really based on who their players are for the season. Is kind of how I showcase my interest. But Jalen Milrose, four
Bro,
touchdowns, just busting
for
through.
rushing touchdowns, like bro,
through
like they couldn't handle that guy. 4 rushing touchdowns, 12 carries, 185 yards, bro. Like he balled,
yeah,
he balled.
and I think it was one big
So
72-yard rush that you had just to like,
yeah, yeah. His longest was 72.
yeah. But great. I mean, it was a decent set of games. Like I said, we were just leaning towards the playoffs, and everything is going to matter. Like you can see, our list is longer this week because any loss
Yeah,
or any um upset can really affect the standing. So we'll continue to keep you updated on how we see those. I think next time we might have to do the initial view of how the playoffs is looking, just to show you how it's going to stack up going forward. But yeah, more
yeah,
to come, more to come.
for sure. I think we can move on to the NBA now.
Yeah. So these Warriors have been, for lack of a better word, shockingly good. Shockingly, it's been shocking how good they are because everybody thought with Clay gone, Steph was hurt to start the season. Draymond is getting up there in age. Steph is getting up there in age. Nobody expected them to, start up this good. But when you have two assassins more or less shooting 50% from both field and three, like let's round it up. I mean, Steph, okay, maybe 40,
Closer to
but
40.
come on, shooting like lights out from three, like there's no stopping them. And they have crazy depth. I think a lot of people talking about how Steve Kerr is running his US USA style offense, where it's like you have so many stars, so you can just rotate and rotate. But nothing bigger than this recent victory against the previously undefeated Thunders.
Yeah,
Um, Dominant performance. I mean, they've only been recently beaten by
by the
the
Cavs.
other.
They beat the Celtics as well.
Yeah. So they're just playing really good ball, and I think they're going to be definitely in the conversation for a deep playoff run.
Sure.
Um, Moving on to again team of the season right now, Cavs 11-0. it's kind of crazy because the Cavs are I mean beyond like their obvious good performances, how both everybody in the team is sharing the love, and you have like three guys basically scoring 20 plus, I mean four guys basically scoring 20 plus points. Um they are dominating in the East in such a manner that you almost could see them competing as well in the West. So let me break that down. The fifth best team in the East would currently be the eighth or ninth best team in the West. Like that's how competitive the West is. Like they have three
Yeah.
teams that have 8-2 starts. I think the team that I'm talking about is the Knicks. They have like a 4-6 start, and if you're looking at Dallas, who have a 5-6 start, Dallas is ranked eighth, whereas the Knicks are ranked fourth. So
Yeah.
no, sorry, Dallas are ranked nine, but the Knicks are ranked fourth. So if you're not playing well in the West, like you will drop
I
in the
mean,
rankings.
other than the Celtics and the Cavs, right, in the East, I don't think any other team in the East will be up there in the West. Like looking at the way,
Yeah.
because I mean, you have like three teams in the West currently 8-2, right? So
So I mean,
those
these
teams
guys are
are
just continuing to play ball, good ball, continue to um dominate both like teams that you'd expect them to win and sort of win out tough games. Crazy margins against those Warriors. But yeah, on the flip side of things, we still have the rotten Bucks.
bro.
I know
Like second week in a row, can they turn it around? God, when God, I beg. Like,
there was this
just
funny highlight of Giannis sort of doing this whole trying to shake Jalen Brown, and after Jalen Brown had sort of hard fouled him, and Giannis sort of jokes about trying to give him a handshake, and then he sort of does
yeah,
like,
it just does that thing. Yeah,
and it's like that just showcases like the focus of this team because they still lost that game. That's the point
bro.
I'm trying to make. You can do that if you are winning the game, but if you're going to lose that game, you can't be playing around on the court.
Okay, to be fair to him, what he had 43 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists.
I've told you this, bro, and that's why I said to you that if I was building a team, I would build it around a player like Giannis. Although now, in hindsight, I saw some crazy stats from Jokic where he had like 40 something points, 15 assists,
Yeah,
18
like,
rebounds, 15 assists.
mm-hmm.
Is it's for me, it's more or less the attitude. It's the attitude of, do you want to be great? Do you want to take your team and drive them to sort of like a good position, a championship, be dominant in your conference? And I just don't see that leadership, that killer instinct from him. They brought Dame. Dame is not really. They're just not gelling. Is
So,
kind of how
so,
I see
so,
it.
do you think he has just mentally checked out? Because I think he was.
Possibly. I mean, I think he's one of the highest paid players. He's brought a championship to Milwaukee, which was his minimum requirement. I think in an ideal sense, he would like a different experience, a different lifestyle, and I don't see a reason why not. But at the same time, I'll be honest with you. This was a player that the Heat were in true contention for about 2-3 seasons before he signed the extension. So I always ask the question about all these players. When you go ahead and sign your extension and you get paid, like, are you doing it just for the money, or are you doing it because you want to be competitive? And that's where, you have different breeds of players. There are players who opt for less money because they know that they'll make the money off the court and in any other situation because they want to chase championships. Because championships really gives you opportunities down for the lifetime of your career, post your career. um, but yeah, he just seems like he's living his best life.
Well, I mean,
It's
were
good.
the Heat going to sign Thanasis?
I mean, if that's what the package was required, we'll do whatever it takes. But
bro.
again, at this point in time, I'm kind of happy that we didn't because he just doesn't feel like a Heat player. He feels more like a Nick or like a Atlanta, some flashy thing like that really isn't going to. So the point I'm just trying to make is that I might be taking back my statement about building a franchise around him because his mentality is the only limitation for him, not his skill set, not his ability, his mentality.
Fair enough. I think we're in a good place to move on from the NBA. I mean, as we always say, so many games going on, so much going on in the NBA at the same time. We just keep trying to bring, you know, the like whatever little insights that we can just summarize and just put in the show for you.
High level, high
And
level.
yeah, so moving on to the Premier League. Match week 10, Brentford started the week a 3-2 victory over Bournemouth. Crystal Palace lost 2-0 against Fulham. West Ham and Everton played to a 0-0 draw. Wolves beat Southampton 2-0. One of the shock results of the week, Brighton beat Man City 2-1, handing Pep Guardiola the fourth straight loss, which
Second
apparently
time in
is
his
the first
career.
time in his. Oh,
No,
it's the second time?
yeah, he
Wow.
had it in Bayern. 4 game
Oh,
lost, but they had won the championship at that time, so it's different
wow.
circumstances.
Well, there's always something. They shall lost 4 in a row. Eric Ten Hag never did that. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, guys.
take Ten Hag,
I'm
take Ten
sorry,
Hag over Pep
guys.
now.
I just. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Hands up. Hands in the air. I'm sorry, guys. I had to say it. I had to say it. Okay. Um, Liverpool continued in their winning ways, beating Aston Villa 2-0. Match
Their luck has to end. Their luck actually has to
pool.
end.
We'll see.
Liverpool.
We'll see. We'll see.
No, I'm just saying. Like, did you watch that game? They were literally
No, I
playing. The
didn't.
two goals they
I didn't.
scored were off Aston Villa corners.
Wow.
Unreal.
Well, well,
Diaz scored.
it's a long season,
Unreal.
but 27 games left. So we'll see if their luck runs out at some point or they get better. Man U beat Leicester 3-0. Van Nistelrooy's final game as interim manager, Ruben Amorim resumed work today as Manchester United. We thank God for his life. Yeah, grateful to Van Nistelrooy. He managed to, steady the ship in this interim period. Yeah, we're in a really bad place. I think one win in 8 games under Ten Hag, and Van Nistelrooy in his 4 games, we did not lose a single game and won 3 out of the 4 games. So yeah, we appreciate him for all he did. Legend of the club. Newcastle
Good.
beats Nottingham Forest 3-1.
Comeback. Great comeback. Great comeback. That Jolinton goal was unreal. Unreal.
I mean, to be fair, Forest have been pretty decent this season. It's impressive. It's impressive.
Also, shout out to your Ganacho's goal. Also impressive.
Yeah. Uh, about Ganacho, like I have a lot to say, but I don't want to say too much. Like I didn't like how he didn't celebrate the goal. Like I mean, bro, he just got a banger. Like he was already celebrating, and then he remembered, oh, there was one fan that this thing to his face before the Europa League game on Thursday, and he was like, oh, he feels he has lost the faith of the fans. Like my brother, and like this is not even to Garnacho alone. Like this is to all young guys. Like play the game. Like you're playing a man's game. Like you need to actually like grow thick skin. Like imagine if Rashford responded to all the vitriol that he gets online or to his face. Like I don't know. Sometimes just like what one person isn't representative of the entire like fan base, right? So just keep doing what you're doing and keep working hard. Keep trying to develop your game and just enjoy playing, man. Like you're living so many people's dreams. Enjoy it. Don't think about one stupid guy that said whatever I said. Anyway, yeah, I don't know if you want to add anything, Yimika.
Yeah, I mean, I think Camacho's a talent. Um, I kind of see him in a similar light of Martinelli in the sense that he came on to the scene with like a lot of big contributions and a lot of hype obviously surrounds you once you start contributing a lot. And I think the biggest poison pill that young players face in the Premier League is this assumption of continuous progression based on that initial breakthrough. Um, Ganacho, in terms of how he plays, has all the skill sets, the technical ability, and like really the capability to be a great player. But the only thing I'll just say is that he needs to ensure that he continues to channel that same work ethic that he used to break into the squad and use that as a baseline for how he performs. Yes, as an attacker, you need to conserve energy to, you know, truly dominate your defender. But at the same time, there are moments where you need to be part of the team and support the team and just commit to what you're trying to hold on to or whatever you're trying to accomplish as a team. And he's lost a little bit of that plot, especially with the whole time when he played really well when Ronaldo was here, his idol. I
Yeah,
just think he's sort of seeing himself as a bigger player in the squad than he is. Like you said, he's still a young guy. He should still enjoy the process of playing football and worry less about optics or how he's seen and how it's perceived. It's that's not what football is about. Just play on the pitch, please.
fair enough. And shout out, what's his name, man? Ahmad, like your boy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's someone who I think has sort of displayed what you just spoke about. Like, just keep your head down, keep working. They bench you, take it. If you see opportunity, grab it,
Take
and
it.
just anytime you're on the pitch, show what you can do, man. And just I appreciate the fans that come there, pay money to support you, or pay their cable TV fees, and just appreciate, like, focus on the good. Like there will always be one or two guys saying nonsense. Like can't do anything about that. Just keep doing it. Anyway, so yeah. Um, Spurs being Spurs, typical Spurs fashion.
What's this? This
Lost
is
2-1 to
Ipswich
Ipswich.
first win, right? I think.
I'm not sure, but I won't be
Um,
surprised because they've lost a lot of games, drawn a lot of games. Yeah, I mean Spurs beat City, beat Villa, and lose to Ipswich. And yeah,
yeah.
your
No, go
boys,
on.
your boys played out the 1-0 draw against Chelsea. Um, I'll just let you start on that one
No, actually, go
before I
ahead.
share my thoughts. Okay. For me, I I really don't know what it is. Like I was watching that game and draw, right? So yeah, I was happy with the results just from my particular standpoint. Now you guys are just 5 points ahead of United. Um, but I don't know. There's something that I can't really place that I feel is wrong with us now. Like you watch your team more, so maybe you'll be able to like tell me. Well, I don't know. Like defensively, I don't see a lot of problems with Arsenal defensively, but going forward is where I don't like it. I don't when you guys like the impression I had was Arsenal was a team that scored quite a number of goals, like not a lot of one nils. Like you guys used to like roll teams over. I don't know, maybe it was just in my head because my team was so shit. But I don't know. Like I didn't see a lot going forward for us now. And yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. Trossard, I saw one big chance that he missed. Um, I mean, I think if he even left it for Havertz, Aves probably would have just tapped that in. Like, I don't know. Is there someone missing? Is there like Odegaard is back now? I mean,
Yeah, this
yes,
was his first game
unfortunate
back.
Saka Saka's injury. I think Declan Rice also had to go off as well. Like, yes, that obviously has an impact on how the game went, but I don't know. They just seemed like there was something off. I don't really have a base to work off because I don't really watch Arsenal, but yeah, that's what I thought about the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a sense of or there's definitely a loss of creativity in the Arsenal squad. Um, this offseason, we let go of Smith Rowe, let go of Vieira. I mean, I won't mention guys like Eddie Nketiah and Reece Nelson as relevant, but the point I'm just trying to make is that within that midfield role, midfield attacker role, because we sort of play these hybrid winger forward, winger like attacking midfielders.
Yeah,
We lost a couple of them and didn't really replace them. We replaced them with Moreno, who was more of a deep lining playmaker, like sort of box to box scenario, but not necessarily
yeah,
like a in the pocket playmaker. And it has really sort of shown because even guys like Jesus, like Zinchenko, that were major contributors when you said that we were playing really well, have dipped in their performance. I say this to my roommates a lot of the time. I think we've outgrown them, similar to how Man City outgrew them and figured that they weren't good enough to play in the squad. And
mm,
I think if we had a cutthroat director of football, those guys would have gotten us a good chunk of money that we could have reinvested into new blood, people who have hunger, people who have a need to prove themselves in the squad. So someone like Jesus can go half the season and not score a goal and still call himself a center forward. Um,
bro, that thing's crazy, honestly.
Zinchenko can see Skelly, who is a makeshift fullback, gets onto the pitch before him, and the next time he gets on the pitch, still not perform to a standard where it's even making the club or the fan or the coach say like, we need to play Zinchenko. Like we've been missing that control in the inverted midfield role or whatever role he now plays. But the point I'm trying to make is that we've established a very strong defensive culture, which is play these centre backs as full backs that have the ball playing ability, your Timber, your Calafiori, your Ben White, which I truly believe is the future of the fullback position. Switching to Man City, their centre back Guardiola played as a centre back this game, and you could see that he really looked uncomfortable, just not as established in that middle. Like your ability to play as a full-on centre back in this modern day has become a little bit more difficult than it was. So I think we've made right adjustments in the back third of the pitch, but in terms of consistently building and refreshing that final third, we haven't signed anybody who has been as impactful since Trossard, and that was now coming up to 2 years by this January. So we've just been losing players and hoping that someone like Saka will get to the next level, to the next level. Martinelli has plateaued, which is why I gave that whole spiel about Garnacho. But unlike Garnacho, Martinelli commits to the whatever the team is trying to achieve. So running back, tackling, and just being a supporting player for his fullback. But that also hurts the attack. That doesn't allow him to be as devilish on the counter attack, which is where he made his name from. So the point I'm just trying to make is that we've and I said that about Trossard. We signed Kai Havertz last season, and he's been a really good addition to our attack. But the way I see it is that Kai Havertz, the way he's playing right now, could play with a center forward and be even much, much, much better.
Yeah,
Imagine if you had two like a true center forward. I mean, throwing names out there. Obviously, someone like Osimhen is in the abyss of Galatasaray. If you had Osimhen being dominant in that middle, and you had Carl Havertz supporting that dominance with his runs and his work ethic, you have a more dynamic attack, something that gives opponents a little bit more to think through. But we'll see. That's part of my headache. I didn't talk too much about my headache with the Miami Heat because they too are also playing pretty bad to start the season. So other than my Eagles here, everybody's it's just disappointing me, and it's almost like let's just wait for the New Year's.
It's tough, but it be like this sometimes. But yeah, overall, like pretty average weekend of Premier League football. It was nice to see City lose, but other than that, like, I don't think a lot really stood out. But yeah, so the international window has officially started, and unlike this area where you have 2 points between first and sixth, Liverpool are sitting pretty comfortably on top of the Premier League after 11 games. We'll see how things
No,
develop
they can't keep up with
going
this.
forward.
It's just obviously they can't keep up with this.
Bro, I don't really have a
No, my thing about
side.
Liverpool, and that's why I said that the Aston Villa game was evident to.
Mm-hmm.
It was evident that this cannot continue on. Their attack was solely based on the counter attack. Like Salah was, as usual, devastating. Your Diaz was devastating in the counter attack. But even with that, Aston Villa had chances to come back into the game, and it was their mistakes that gave Liverpool opportunity. So they're not. It's similar to how when they played us, they weren't the one creating the opportunities. They were just capitalizing on mistakes. And to be fair, that those are signs of champions because you need that solid mindset, that ability to continue to persevere in tough situations. But they're not seeming to engineer opportunities. It's just things are falling their way right now. It's kind of how I see it. So unless they change and they start creating some crazy opportunities, and Salah is fine. Salah has 10 goals, I think, already this season, but he still doesn't look like he's playing well. Scary.
It's just
Scary.
immense. It's just immense. It's inevitable. I mean, we'll see. Still very early days. 27 more games. Hopefully, the next time we are presenting this, short graphic of the top of Premier League, my team.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
My team will be somewhere to be found.
Don't say it. Come
on the list.
Come on.
But yeah, I think that's everything we have for today. And just thank you guys for listening. And yeah, just share your comments, your thoughts. I really want to know what United fans think about the club's decision to drop Van Nistelrooy, because I know some people were hoping for him to stay. I didn't see why he would want to stay, because Amorim is coming in with his own assistants, and I mean Van Nistelrooy can manage the team on his own.
Officially, right? He's been let go.
Yeah. The club released a statement today that he's been let go. Like, the best he was going to get, in my opinion, was strikers coach. Like, Van Nistelrooy is good enough to probably manage a Premier League level team at this point. Like, why is he taking not even assistant manager? Like, so I didn't see a way for him to stay. So yeah, just share your thoughts, guys, and yeah, thank you. Have a lovely week ahead.
Thank you.